Hey guys, what's up? A little more successful with the phone this time. Uh, I wanted to make a new video today. I made a video last week. They don't get a lot of views or anything, but it's kind of like an expressive outlet, keep the thoughts going. So whoever sees this, I'm talking to you, I guess. So cool, thanks for that. Um, Today I kind of want to talk about pressure. Now, not like the tangible kind of pressure, like being squeezed, or like even like a deadline, something that's almost tangible, like something you see and you're like, shit, I need to get this done by this day, and it's days are going whatever. I mean more like pressure for success, pressure for ambition, pressure to be somebody, that kind of pressure, and I think it's really sort of prominent in youth, specifically people my age and younger, older, everybody really, but specifically I'm talking about more like I guess you want to say the status quo, like how to be a person growing up and how to do it properly and how not to do it properly and how much pressure that actually amounts to, because to me anyway it feels like a lot. Um, that being said, specifically, people relate to the pressures of school, doing well in school, picking a post-secondary education, like, you know, picking something that's going to be practical to be successful in, to make lots of money. That's definitely a pressure that I think everybody feels, and I feel it too, everybody. Um, Beyond that, there's the pressure to be somebody, and I feel like that's more self self-imposed. The pressure to be who you want to be, or be somebody that you see yourself being, even if that's not really who you are. That's a pressure too, and I mean, that relates to your self-esteem and confidence and all kinds of stuff like that. Branches out, but it's a pressure. Whether you put it on yourself or someone, another influence is kind of making that a reality for you. Um, Now, mentioning those two, they almost intertwine because the stress of being successful, or the pressure rather, from anything, it's out there all the time. You get it in ads, you get it in like the media, you get it from your parents, from teachers, from counselors, from just people you meet on the streets that say, "Hey man, you gotta be somebody. You gotta work hard in school, get a good job, and get a lot of money." That relates back to who you are as well, because it's not just pressure to get money, it's pressure to be that person that makes money. And I feel like that's complicated. That's kind of it's rough for some people. It feels overwhelming, and for me specifically, it's almost been like that too. And for me, I'm not the type of person that wants to chase after money. I don't. I mean, money is necessary in this day and age. I'm not naive, but it doesn't make me happy, and I'm not interested and ripping myself apart trying to get there, because I got that anxiety, stress, complex of all of these pressures, and I think about it way too much, more than I should. I'm sure a lot of people do, but that being said, I think pressure is real. That kind of pressure and all that kind of pressure is a big deal, because it it ruins people. It can mess with you, man, and stress is not healthy. I mean, I went to school for pre-health this year, and you learn a lot about what those chemicals do, the cortisol and norepinephrine, and long-term, short-term stress, and it's not good. It's not. It breaks down your body almost literally. Um, and people aren't told that you can do it. People aren't told that it's okay if you don't know, and that it's okay that if you don't want to do that, if you don't want to be that person making tons of money, if your happiness lays somewhere else. But no, you got to be this certain type of person making this kind of money, and you have to do that. Otherwise, you're unsuccessful, you're a bum, you're whatever, you're less of a person. And I think that's kind of bullshit, to be honest. But, anyways, I feel like a lot of us are feeling hundreds of pounds heavier these days because of this pressure. It's not it's toxic. You know what I mean? And some people got a good handle on it. Some people really do want to go through and be that successful person. If they're that type of go-getter, that type of person that finds happiness and constantly evolving, constantly um, pushing themselves up the ladder like that, in that sense, in that context of, being that type of person. But everyone's different, and I think a lot of people, that kind of pressure, that kind of standard only really caters to certain kinds of people, and the majority are different than that. Like, we're not unintelligent people just because we hate school, or because we don't want to go through the labor and the stress of being somebody that makes over 100K a year, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, some people can't do that. Some people just physically and mentally don't have the capacity to do it, and people like me just really don't want to. It's not what makes me happy. It wouldn't be if I got a job that made me that much money. It comes along with the time too. Like, if you're a lawyer or a doctor and you want to do that, that's awesome. But for someone like me, where your time is invested solely in that job all the time, I couldn't do that. Um, I'm a multifaceted person in the sense that I can't stay focused on one thing for always. I can't become too complacent. I get stressed out about being complacent about things. Um, it's like almost like I have a switch inside me that says, okay, you've been in this routine for too long, your life is slipping away. That almost sounds morbid or whatever, but that's how it goes, and maybe some people relate. But um, anyways, I don't want to make this video too long, but I think the pressures of today are an issue. I think we all feel them. But I also want to say that I think that they don't define us, and obviously that's cliche, but it's true. You shouldn't let the pressures define you, because you are who you are, and you can be successful even if you're not making lots of money, even if you're not playing the game of school and doing all these things that they're telling you to be this successful person, this type of person, because the pressures of being who you want to be and the pressures of being who you should be culminate, and it sits inside and grows as a toxin, and it's not a good thing. And I think we all know what that's like to some extent. Some people deal with it much better than others. Some people don't feel this kind of stress, but I think a lot of us do. And I think, well, I don't really know what I think. I think it's an everyday sort of thing. Like, some days you feel it more than others, but for me, I'm working hard on making my life a lot less stressful, and that might mean doing things that people don't necessarily approve of, but you do what you gotta do to be who you are, and you gotta learn to accept it. So anyways, don't let that pressure get to you. I do my best not to let it get to me. I mean, I'm bad at it, but I'm getting better. So anyways, whoever watched this, thanks. I don't know if I'll keep doing this, or just do it when I feel like it. So yeah, anyways, take care.